Okay, sweet. I believe we are live. If I'm looking at things correctly, yes, we are. So I'm just going to give it a quick second while we turn in. Hello. We're here going live with the Wisconsin anti-violence effort. We are the voter registration team working on a project to make sure to get people out to the polls, registered to vote, and able to vote safely with all the challenges that the 2020 election cycle has come about with. We're really happy to be here and are here today to talk a little bit about absentee ballots. So I'm gonna slow down, kind of allow the team to introduce themselves, starting with myself. I'm Tyler Kelly. I'm a freshman at Carthage College studying political science, and I am one of the senior civic engagement leads, leading one of the leads of this voter registration team. Really excited to be a part of this conversation today. I'm gonna pass it over to Will and ask that he pass it over to somebody else when he's done.
Hey everyone, I'm Will. I'm originally from around the Milwaukee area, but I'm living in Madison right now as a student at UW-Madison studying finance. I am not a team lead, I'm just a member, but I'm excited to get to answer you guys' questions today. And Aaron, if you want to go next.
Yeah, my name is Aaron. I'm also from the Milwaukee area, and I am at UW-Madison currently as a freshman, studying something in business, and I'm also a part of the voter registration team here at WAVE. I can pass it to Adeline.
All right, hi, I'm Adeline. I use she, her pronouns, and I am a high schooler from just outside the Madison area. And I'll pass it back to the first question asker.
Yeah, just to give a little bit of background, we've had Will take the pleasure of kind of taking the lead on this. So we'll be asking Will some questions, providing some insights about filling out absentee ballots. So Aaron, if you could start us off with our first question, that would be awesome.
Yeah, so how do we want to start off with this? Should we go, how do you request an absentee ballot?
All right, yeah, that's a good question. Obviously, you have to make sure you know how to request it before you even worry about filling it out. So just to preface this question, if you can't make the live or you want to get just more information, you can go to waveedfund.org/absentee-ballot-Wisconsin, another slash, and just follow that link. And we have a whole PDF that you can follow for it. And that's what I'll go through right now and kind of show you guys how the requesting process works. So I'll share my screen real quick and we'll get right into that. Okay, so yep, I'll just run through it. So you're going to want to go to a browser. It doesn't matter which one it is. Go to myvotewisconsin.gov, and then you will get to a website that looks pretty much like this. You're going to want to go up to this top bar and click on Vote Absentee. Then you're going to be directed to this page right here. You're going to enter your first name, last name, date of birth. Make sure it's in the 05, or like if you have 2 digits, you're going to do like 0, 0, and then the full 4-digit year and put that in, and it'll search. If you're registered, that should come up. If you are not registered, do that, and please, you can go to our website if you need more information on how to register. But yeah, register, and then you can request your ballot. Then you're going to get to this page right here. You're going to click on request ballot if you don't need to update your name or address. If you do, you can click on that and you can fix that there on the website. Then you can just check these boxes, confirm that everything is good. If you need it to be mailed to a different address, you can check that. Or if you're a military voter, check that and it'll direct you to more steps. You're going to validate your address. Then you're going to click on which elections you need an absentee ballot for. You're just going to click that checkbox, make sure everything is okay, request it. And then one of the trickier steps is you're going to have to upload a picture of your ID. So there are a bunch of forms of ID that you can use. You can use a Wisconsin driver's license, a state ID card, military ID card, a veteran's ID card, a U.S. passport, or any other ID. It's okay for voting. Make sure it has an address on there when you take a picture. And then what you're going to want to do, just for the technical side of it, is you're going to save that photo on your computer, either put it in a folder and that you are familiar with, name it something that you know what it is. Photo ID would work great, or even add a date or something if you want to be extra careful. And then you're just going to select that image. When you go to the add file button, you're going to go through your computer, find that image, upload it, and then continue. So yeah, you'll get to, this is a picture of a Mac. If you're on a Windows box, it might look a little bit different, but that's basically the gist of what selecting a file and uploading is going to look like. And that is how you request an absentee ballot. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen now and get on to the next question.
So how do you,
Awesome. Oh, sorry. I can ask the next question. Sorry for interrupting, Adeline. So how would you fill out said absentee ballot?
Excellent question, Tyler. So once you get the ballot, I would say there are, first of all, before we even get into explaining the filling it out, just make sure through every step of it to follow the directions. If you follow the directions verbatim, you should be good. But it never hurts to have a little bit of extra assistance. So we'll go through that now. So the two main parts of the ballot that you're gonna have to worry about is filling out the actual ballot where you cast your vote, and then kind of the signatures, excuse me, and other things required for your witness. So I'll explain the witness part first. So in order to fill out your ballot, you need to have a witness present when you cast your vote, in order to just certify that you're voting and everything's okay. So the way that you do it is your witness isn't going to look at you while you're voting, because it's a private process and you have the right to vote however you want without any pressure on you. So you have to your witness has to see your blank ballot, and then you can fill it out away from them in their presence, and then you're good. So you just need them to be there. So a witness can be pretty much anyone over the age of 18 who is a U.S. citizen, but they can't be your employer. They cannot be a candidate on the ballot, and they can't be a labor union representative or your labor union representative. But anyone else would be a suitable witness. However, you should probably try to find someone who is able to sign their name and knows their address, because those are two important steps in the rest of the witness process. And then before you even, or maybe not before you find your witness, but sometime in the process, you should make sure you find a black pen that they can use to fill out their signatures. And then you're also going to use that when filling out your absentee ballot. So have the correct pen that you need to fill all that stuff out. I'm pretty sure that that covers it, but we'll go through some visuals just to make sure there is no confusion. So I'll share my screen real quick and run you guys through that. So, technical difficulties. There we go. So here is sorry, a little bit glitchy. Let me just take care of this. That's the one we were looking for. Okay, so this is just a Google image. So if you want to look at this later, you can just Google absentee ballot Wisconsin, and you should be able to find something like this fairly easily. But again, if your witness, they are going to sign right here on this highlighted area, and it's going to be highlighted on your physical form as well. So it should be easy to find. So they're going to sign here, and then they're going to put their address here. And the ballot isn't going to specify whether they need to put their entire address with zip code and everything, but I would recommend filling it out in full just to be safe. And the same goes with your signature. You don't have to date it, but I would recommend that you do to be on the safe side. So that's the witness process. And then to get into the actual filling out of the ballot. So as I said, you're going to use a black pen. You shouldn't use a pencil You really shouldn't even use a blue pen. Just find a black pen and use that. That will ensure that your ballot is counted. You don't want your ballot to be thrown out. In 2016, there were 23,000 thrown out in Milwaukee alone, and 50,000 in the state at large, just because of using the wrong writing utensil. So don't do that. Make sure to get your black pen and fill it out. So what you're going to do, the directions do a pretty good job of explaining it, but you're going to want to identify each section of the ballot, and I'll screen share right away and show you guys what I mean. So this is like the ballot's going to look something like this. This is just part of an image, but so like here, this is one section. You're going to pick one person within this section, either this candidate, that candidate, or write in, and you're going to fill in that bubble. Fill in one bubble for this section, one bubble for this section. You get the idea, but make sure you don't overvote, because that will also cause your ballot to get thrown out. See, and then just some other tips. You don't have to vote for everyone on the ticket, but you can. I mean, it's right there, so you might as well. It's very easy. You obviously don't have to vote for the same party throughout the whole thing. Be extra careful to fill in your bubble completely. Don't go outside of the lines. Don't partially fill in the dot. Just fill it in easily, or fill it in completely and within the lines. And if you have, for whatever reason, you would have some difficulty filling it in with the pen, you can have an assistant fill out your ballot for you. An assistant can be any adult, but if you do choose to use an assistant, there's a special area that they have to sign. So I'm going to screen share again and just show you guys what that is. So this little section right here below the certification of witness, you have certification of assistant. So if you have somebody else filling out your ballot for you, they just have to sign right there. This can be the same person as your witness. I would suggest that you just have your witness do it because that makes things easier, but you can use a different person if you would like, for whatever reason as well.
1 second, Will, just while you have that up, I
Yeah.
think just important to point out all of the individual things that the witness has to fill out. So they have to fill out the signature, and then also in the line below that, the address. So if you could just share that again, I just think that's extremely important, especially with the chance of voter perjury and ballots being thrown out. Just making sure that you fully fill out your ballot correctly, making sure you have the signature, you have the address of the witness, and you fill out things accurately, because that'll be the only way to make sure that your vote counts, and that's really what we're interested in here. So thank you.
Yes, yeah, 100%. So that should pretty much cover how to fill out the ballot, but oh yeah, and then of course, sorry, one last screen share. If your witness has to sign on their area, and if you have an assistant, they have to sign here, but of course you have to sign there and you have to date there as well. So that pretty much covers everything though. Do you guys have any other questions that you'd like to ask?
Yeah, so why wouldn't you just vote in person?
That's a fair question, but I would say that there's really no reason not to just request an absentee ballot. It's free to do. It's pretty easy to do. If it comes, it's convenient to fill it out at your own home. And if you do request an absentee ballot and it gets sent to you, and you decide that you don't want to use an absentee ballot and you just want to go vote in person instead, you're free to do so. So it's not like you're locked in and you can't vote in person if you request an absentee ballot. So yeah, you might as well just request a ballot and just to have it if you want to use it. Also, there's it can be a little bit. We're in a pandemic and there are safety issues. So if you don't want to be in a large public space, it's always it's good to be on the safe side and stay in your own home. Do you guys have any questions?
Yeah. So how are you actually going to send your ballot back?
So there's a variety of ways that you can have your ballot sent back. Probably the one that I think is the easiest is it comes with a return envelope, and the address that it's going to be returned to is already filled out there. All you have to do is fill out your own address that the mail can be returned back to if it, for whatever reason, doesn't get to where it needs to go. You don't even have to stamp it though. You can stamp it and it will make it first class mail, and that'll help expedite the process. But if you don't want to stamp it, you don't have to. So yeah, you just fill out your own return address and mail it. But if you don't want to mail it, you can also, a lot of more urban areas have mail drop boxes that you can use. In the city of Milwaukee, for example, every public library, there's a drop box that the absentee ballot can be dropped in. City Hall also has one. Or in Madison, you can go to the city clerk's office. Along the Library Dream bus route, there's a lot of locations that you can drop it off. Madison also has a democracy in the park system where you can go to just about any park in the city of Madison and they'll have a mail drop off location there. So a lot of different locations, but if you need to figure out which location works best for you, because there are a lot of options, I would just suggest, Googling absentee ballot mail drop off location in whatever city you're in, and find the one that works best for you. And if anyone has any questions for that, please drop them in the chat. We can answer those for you on the fly.
So I'm hearing a lot about how the USPS is having some issues with ballots, and I'm curious, how long should I give my ballot to be mailed?
That's a good question, Tyler. That's a tricky topic surrounding mail-in ballots right now. And the unfortunate truth is, given the turbulent nature of everything that's going on right now, we don't know exactly how much time you should give yourself to have your ballot mailed in. So I would just say, as soon as you get your ballot, or as soon as you can request it, you should request it, and you should mail it back as soon as you can, just to be on the safe side. And then the kind of final deadline that you should use, if more than a week out from November 3rd, and you haven't gotten your ballot yet, you should definitely contact your clerk and make sure that there's nothing wrong going on. And if you'd also like, and if you've requested your absentee ballot and you want to make sure that it's on its way, you can actually track your absentee ballot on the myvote.wisconsin.gov website. It's in the same sort of tab that you request your absentee ballot from. So you can kind of track it just like a UPS package or something like that.
And to add on to that, a stamp isn't required to mail in your absentee ballot, but if you want your ballot to be considered like priority mail, which means it will probably be mailed faster, it is always a good thing you can do to put a stamp on it.
Yep. All right.
So what?
Sorry, Aaron.
Can you just reiterate one more time what like special things to look out for when you're filling out your ballot, mistakes that you should avoid?
Yeah, of course. So as I mentioned, one of the big ones is overvoting. If within one of those sections, like for example, the presidential section, there should be just a bubble for each ticket that you can vote for and then a write-in bubble. Do not fill out more than one of those bubbles within a section, because then it's like you're voting for two different people and they don't know what that means and your ballot is going to get thrown out. So vote for one of the options within each choice, and that'll make sure that it's not thrown out because of overvoting. I would also make sure, use a black pen and fill out the bubbles exactly as they should be filled out. Completely fill, but not outside of the lines, because that will make sure that your ballot isn't thrown out either.
So with that, kind of adding on to Tyler's last question, if you're sending in an absentee ballot, should you be worried about the security or the legitimacy of mail-in voting?
No, You should not. It is a perfectly legitimate system. People have been, or the country has been using mail-in voting for a long time. In fact, Oregon has been an only mail-in voting state since 1998, and they have had no problems with it at all. The Postal Service is completely capable of handling the mail-in vote process. You shouldn't be discouraged from requesting an absentee ballot or voting because you're concerned with the postal system.
So firstly, I just want to give a quick shout out to the Facebook Live. Make sure that you're leaving questions, anything that you are wondering about in the chat. We'd appreciate it. I'm wondering where I can go to find more information about absentee ballots as a whole.
Yeah, for sure. So the best place to go is if you want to get a lot of information, just go to myvote.wi.gov. That website's going to have a lot of information, but if you want to talk to someone, you can call 608-261-2028, or you can email elections@wi.gov. Any of those methods will get you in contact with someone. And again, if you don't remember those links or those numbers I just rattled off, if you just Google Wisconsin Election Commission, you will find the website, and you can look into it from there.
So I cannot vote because I'm not 18, but I'd love to hear all of your reasons for voting, three of you.
I'm really excited to vote because right now we really see what the stakes are. We see all of the impacts that the problems in our society that come into place, bad government, and we have the opportunity to continue to vote in all levels of government to continue to improve. We see issues like gun violence plaguing our communities, and we have the ability to push for the solutions that are really going to help us see reductions in the issues that we really care about. And it just makes me excited to feel the power of voting in a presidential election for the first time. Something that's really cool and something that I'm really excited for.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that, Tyler. Being a first-time voter is a very special occasion, at least I think. It's kind of a fun thing to do. You get to have your be involved in a democracy in a way that you've never been able to do before if you're a first-time voter. And yeah, it's definitely one of the reasons why I'm doing it.
Yeah. I already voted for this election with my absentee, and it's already been received, which is pretty cool. But I voted and will continue to vote because I like seeing young, active people in our government, because I think it's really cool seeing new ideas put into place and seeing young, active, and passionate people run our country. So yeah.
All right, and then as Aaron mentioned that he had already voted, but we should probably also get into how we're all voting. So I actually filled out my absentee ballot a few days ago and sent it back, and it is being sent to where it needs to go. So Tyler, how will you be voting?
Yeah, I already sent in my ballot. It's already sent in. Planning on also poll working, still figuring out the details of where I'm going to be most effective doing that. But it's exciting. My ballot's already been received by my city clerk, and I checked that out at my vote, and it's a really cool feature, and I'd highly recommend it. It gives you very specific details as to like who exactly we're in the process of being like received it is. So I'd highly recommend doing that. And Aaron, you already shared. I guess you can talk again if you'd like.
Yep. I also filled out and sent in an absentee ballot about a week and a half to 2 weeks ago, and it has been received according to my vote's website, which is really cool.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you all so much for partaking in this today. I'm going to ask that you all tune in next week, where I'll actually be leading a conversation about how to vote in person safely as we start thinking about that. I really appreciate anyone that's joined us tonight, anyone that's viewing this in the future of right now. Thank you so much, and I really hope that we were able to provide good information about filling out absentee ballots. So thank you.